Sadhana Panchkam, 5 verses, 40 steps. Last session we understood, and it was a good revelations from you all, that it's an operating manual. So, operating manual starts with the awareness. I know there is a manual, so it means there is a self-awareness. Think of it. We are going a little deeper. So yes, self-awareness. What should I do first? Shanti mantra. Otherwise, we will remain with the animal consciousness. That is the main goal of the Mangalacharan. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. So I created an acronym for it, GROWS. So every day you are doing it without fail. So what happens? Our unconscious mind that rules our life and daily activities drops. Otherwise it will not drop. It demands a repeated practice. So GROWS, the acronym, helps us to guard from the unconscious material impressions of which is present since the birth, and other impressions. Another important aspect, if you look from the perspective of operating manual. When I say operating manual, it is not the matter who is going to do it. It is consciousness. It is consciousness. And I become consciousness, whether you say it's a self-awareness. So every day I wake up around 4 and the first thing, it comes to the mind that yes, are you the real self? Yes, and then I sit with eyes closed and I could experience that. So that is the meaning of the operating manual. We guard the seedling of our spiritual practice. That is G. We relish the process as it begins to sprout. We operate consistently to nourish its growth, O, and we cultivate wisdom as it matures. So we start getting some mental maturity. Finally, we sync this growth with all aspects of our life, and that is what it is known as the awakening. Think of it. Think of it. Again, the first thing first. Self-awareness, Om Sahana, or any Shanti mantra will. Even if you remember, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, may there be happiness for all. Now can you see that? Your awareness moves from the material, that is the physical layer, to the subtle, that is the mental layer. From the mental layer, it moves deeper to the witness consciousness, and from the witness consciousness, it recognizes that the happiness is the essence of all. Happiness at the essence of the physical level? No. Everyone's body is different. Body may be suffering from some challenges. It may be overweight and underweight. It may have certain genetic predispositions. So what we are looking for, you see the first layer, matter again. Second layer, the subtle matter. The third layer is a very subtle layer of the consciousness in the matter. And the fourth layer is the real self. That is the meaning of working through the operating manual. Any, you can pick up any. GROWS, I created an acronym, but we have to maintain that self-awareness throughout the day. If I don't maintain that, why I don't maintain it? I move back to the state since birth. See that? I lose my awareness. So during the day, my mind is more towards the matter, more towards the physical aspect, and that is why the Mangalacharan is so important. So we create. What happens? To get rid of that unconscious material, since the time we wake up, we are just following this. You may create a daily meditation or a prayer routine. Prayer means the recognition of the higher consciousness. Recognition something beyond the matter. That is the meaning of the prayer here. Why? To protect my mental space. The boundaries with the people or situations that drains my energy is absent. You had some differences yesterday with the honey, but now you are doing the Mangalacharan, so it is not going to drain your energy. You live into that state. That is the meaning of guarding yourself. You cultivate that awareness. What is the meaning of relish? You practice gratitude daily, focusing on the joy of your spiritual journey. I don't have a joy of the spiritual journey. Oh, the time is up. Lord, let me connect it fast. So there is a movement of some habitual and unconscious material in our life. You see how it works. And operate, we set a specific, achievable goal for our spiritual practice. That is why we are operating. What is that? We want to realize and recognize this real self. We want to have in conscious 24/7 experience of that real self. So we engage in regular study and the practice. What it results into? It results into a wisdom. When I'm doing it regularly, unconscious material is pushing me. Like animals, animals have the same repeated impulsive habit. We break those habits and we replace it with the new habits. That is the goal of this in the beginning when we do the Mangalacharan. And then it sinks. Now come to the 5 steps, the first 5 steps out of the 40 steps. Whatever we learn, now our goal is to apply that learning. I'm not a teacher. Okay, I'm not a teacher. So then I give responsibility of that teacher to the existence. I replace the false I with the existence. So what happens? Then the knowledge flows smoothly because you are not limiting yourself with the false I. So the very first step is to study Eastern wisdom daily. Study means you already learned a lot of principles. One way is that you wake up in the morning and remember some of these principles and see. That is one. And second is to study Eastern wisdom daily, to study myself. I have to study myself. I have to look at my behavior, my attitude, my personality, my thought process, the way I am acting and thinking and speaking in the external world. How? That the mental state is calm inside. So it will bring the same kind of thoughts, feeling, emotions, which will be translated into action. So that is why I have to study myself daily. Oh, I know that guy very well. No, better you know yourself. Don't know other guys. So when I know the other guy too much, I forget knowing myself. That is another unconsciousness. That is another layer of the habitual and impulsive behavior. Because now I know that this guy is like this, so I have to, my mind has already created a pattern to react. So daily study of Eastern wisdom, how you study yourself through your self-awareness, which is not possible in animals. Think. Which is not possible in animals. You can train them, you can make them listen to certain commands, that is all. So regular, dedicated study of Eastern wisdom, daily self-study is required. You wake up in the morning and you are feeling sad. You inquire and remove the sadness. Because now you know it comes from the mind. It has nothing to do with you. Because all experiences takes place in the mind. So you have that level of self-awareness by which you get rid of the sad, or it's a bad morning, or whatever it is. Do you see how the Mangalacharan works so beautifully? Daily study and self-reflection, you cultivate wisdom and understanding. Understanding of not only the false I, but also the working of that entire existence around you. You gain some insight into one's nature and the pattern. You need not to go to a psychiatrist or psychotherapist to know it. You simply apply this operating manual and you know it. You maintain focus on your evolution, or you can say that your spiritual growth. You can say that I'm a millionaire or a billionaire, so you have a bank, you have a money in the account. But it is not translated into being a billionaire unless you spend that money. You have a big home, or you have a plane, or you have cars, etc., etc. Same thing, I may say that I have understood it, but unless I realize it in my daily life, in my personal life, in my professional life, in my social life, the meaning of awakening does not work. It has no value. It has no value at all. So that is why the first step is very important. So what we have to do, you already know that I set aside each day. Let me listen and learn, let me contemplate and reflect. You need not to listen for an hour. You listen one principle and pick up that, contemplate and reflect, and check that how it applies in your daily life. We already have all those. That is why I send you that audio files. So you have to contemplate after listening. So you have to practice self-absorption. You get into anxiety, remember, where is the operating manual? You are reacting, where is the operating manual? Remember. Where it is? Did I apply? No, I didn't apply. That's why I'm into anxiety. That's why I have a lot of stress. You are applying that. So that is, so gradually what is going to happen, your mind is going to replace its old habit with a new habit. New habit means that you have a higher level of awareness. Then now the mind continues to live into that state of the calmness. You discover that calmness is coming from inside. It is not coming from the food, it is not coming from the money, it is not coming from any object outside. See, that is the first step. Second step, now I have learned something. I have to perform my ordained duties diligently with reference to these principles. Or you can simply say, I have to think, speak, and act responsibly. Now, here, responsibly means that I have to act without attachment. That is the simple thing. With attachment, there is an impurity of the mind. Without attachment, there is a purity of the mind. I have to go to the office. I'm excited. It is becoming late. Can I avoid that through the self-awareness? Answer is yes. I can avoid that. I don't want to avoid. I follow the same routine again. So I'm not performing my duty responsibly. Where is the problem when I switch on 5 or 10 minutes before? I'm relaxed, I'm waiting, you all join in, then I start. Did you find in these years, even on a single day, how it comes? It comes through the self-awareness. In the very beginning, the mind with impulsive drive will try to work, but gradually it will be replaced by your calmness, your self-awareness. Do any activity. My son used to say in India that you have such a bad habit that you want to reach 10 minutes before. No, I said it's a good habit. And gradually he developed the same habit. Normally what we do. So act, performing. I will go into detail and the deeper level. So what this second step involves recognizing and fulfilling my responsibility and duty, what I have to do today in relationship to the world. I will do it with self-awareness. That includes that I act responsibly. That includes that I'm acting without attachment. That also means that I am acting or I'm performing my duty without any form of anxiety or duality or a conflict. So today you have done, tomorrow you have done, 1 week you have done. Whether it's a personal, professional activity, what is going to happen? Calmness is pervading throughout the day. That is actual meaning of performing the ordained duties diligently. We'll also talk about it, that how we create those impressions. So it helps in making wise choices about actions and responsibilities. So because there is a level of self-awareness and it can work in any activity, clears the mind of tamoguna. We already know the principles. So it clears your mind from the tamoguna and also the rajoguna. What is calmness? You continue to live in the satoguna. What is the goal? Awakening. You see, so I have to move from tamoguna to rajoguna to satoguna. It develops a sense of purpose and discipline. Reduces your negative past impressions. You try this. it will happen. So you are doing it for weeks and months together. Now what happens? Every day you wake up in the morning, you recognize that you have evolved a bit more today. You rise in consciousness a bit more today. So every day you are rising in consciousness. Then you have such a tremendous faith. Yes, what this beard guy is talking about, the real self, it is there. You have such a tremendous faith. Faith motivates you. It creates a tremendous will. So all those happens in the second step. Now see what happens. Very subtler understanding at the third level. So I follow the routine and I feel the state of the calmness and the peace in my personal, in my professional, social, and family activities. But the crazy mind and its impressions are still there. It has yet to be removed completely. So those impressions builds an ego. Look at it. I've been giving you a lesson. I attend 5 minutes before. No, I can brag it. I can have a big ego. You don't attend. You don't join the session. Are you understanding? What needs to be done? We have to drop this. We don't allow this I to take over my good behavior, my good thought, my good speech, my good action by being always in time. Otherwise, the past impression will take over. So that is why we have a third step. We don't own the ownership of any action. No, it is the action is doing. So that is the third step. Dedicate all action. So if I literally translate the third principle, third step, it says dedicate all action as worship or a prayer. So again, I translate worship and a prayer. Recognize that it is the existence is one from where all actions are coming. Am I speaking? I told you a couple of times, it's the lips, tongue, throat, body, mind, intellect, ego, I am none of them. So where is the doer? So that is one way of doing it internally. It's all internally. And the second way of doing is that you should have an image maybe of Buddha or Jesus or Shiva. Or the Shiva is the doer inside. Shiva is the enjoyer inside. In the beginning, I have to get rid of this false I. Otherwise, the false I will take the ownership. Think of it. When Bill Gates said that I lived loveless life for 27 years. He may be right. Now I'm praising him. But he owned that ownership. And that destroys all the practices you have done for years. So the master says, dedicate all your actions as a worship. Oh, I am praying you, existence. By this action, by passing on this knowledge, it is my worship to you. It is my prayer to you. It is my relationship with you. Very subtle, but very interesting. So what happens? I'm transcending my ego or the false I in action and offering it to the existence. How can I move my hand? 5 elements. You see that? Body. How can I see? Eyes are physical. So the third step, what it captures many elements. The first element, acting without ego. How? Just by thinking that I'm not the doer. Finished. It is the existence is the doer. If you believe in any God, Jesus is the doer. Yes, Shiva is the doer. Buddha is the doer. Let Buddha perform an action through me. I'm simply saying, I'm making it very simple. So the first, acting without ego. Second, recognizing the nature's role. This is the nature's role, the body, mind, intellect, and ego. And my dedication to the highest, another element. Why I dedicate to the highest? Because that is what I'm searching for. Removing the ego. But why? How can I remove? Where I'm attached to the work. If I'm attached to the work, then the ego is working. But if I'm attached to the work, then I will be very, confused what to talk and how to talk and convince the people. No. Knowledge is clear. This action is clear. Let me perform this action. Finished. So you are removing the basic attachment by the third step. Attachment, hidden inside, manifest as ego. Then you recognize that this entire matter is working as a body, mind, intellect, throat, ego. And who is controlling the entire existence, that highest consciousness. So I'm offering all actions to the highest consciousness. I'm simply saying you think inside and perform that. That's all. You do it for a week. You're making a cup of tea for your honey, yes. I'm making it for the existence. And offering to the existence through my honey. I'm offering this knowledge to my masters in different names and forms present in this session. Does it take anything? So as a teacher, you equate every seeker to your level. So ego goes away. Teachers of Eastern wisdom are their mindset is totally different. They may criticize you, but internally, they keep you at par because you have the real self. You are the real self. Why should I put you below? But when we are a seeker, then we can understand. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. Now see that. Do you see the entire steps? The first step, I study myself. I have a level of self-awareness. I do the Mangalacharan. The second step now, apply that principle. So I have to apply these principles in my daily life. So I become a thinker, speaker, and doer. But there I check what is right, proper, and what is the right and proper action that I need to do in this case, whether I'm living a personal life, professional life, social life, and family life. But before I grow into the false I get attached to the fruits, the third step comes. Drop it. I'll explain in a couple of different ways. Once you understand these 5 steps, then the rest of the journey becomes very smooth. Otherwise, what will happen? The fourth one, now still what happens? Because the past impressions have been accumulated since our birth, and we say it also comes from the previous birth. So there are many desire-prompted activities. Where is desire-prompted activities? It is a binding desire. What is a binding desire? Just become aware. that I'm going to eat pasta to get happiness. Any activity which is burdened by the desire, binding desire, that without which I cannot do anything, that blocks our realization. That creates a lot of anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict. It rebounds your false I in your life. So the fourth one, I have to recognize this desire prompted activities. Where is desire prompted activities? If I don't do it, I'm already into anxiety. If I don't succeed, I'm already into anxiety. Are you getting it? Oh, I have to do it. I have to do it. You wake up in the morning in a hurry, and then you are logging into this session in a hurry. Desire prompted activity. No, no, but I'm listening to you. But your intent is desire prompted. You're not relaxed. Very subtle. Are you getting it? I'll explain you again in a different way. Give up desire prompted activities. So what happens now? What is the desire prompted activities? When you drop it, you are always relaxed and calm. It reduces your emotional dependence on external factors for happiness, cultivates inner peace and contentment, aligns actions with the higher principles. It prevents accumulation of new impressions. So how to do it? I have to check that. The moment I have some form of anxiety, I'm holding something in my mind. Oh, I have to do it, so I will get this. That is the desire prompted activities. Unless I remove that, recognize first, very recognition is removing it. I used to study in psychology long back, more than 20, 25 years ago when I did masters in psychology. There are 50 reasons for anxiety. Even you can go to the WebMD. And the last reason is unfounded worries. What do you mean by unfounded worries? The cause is still unknown. So why should I worry if the cause is still unknown? So here we find that cause. Desire prompted activities causes anxiety, attachment, duality, conflict, reaction, anger, hesitation, etc., etc. Uproot the multitude of sins, the fifth one. That is the English translation. But take the sin as unfavorable circumstances, situations, thoughts, feeling, attitude. I wake up in the morning, my son doesn't listen to me. Unfavorable situation I'm creating to myself. This is known as the sin in the Eastern wisdom. My son, my relationship, my personal, professional activities. So wherever I find some blocks, a sense of anxiety in relationship to the world outside, whether it's an object, person, money, etc., etc., it has to do with the sin. It creates unfavorable circumstances in your life. Those unfavorable, what are those unfavorable circumstances? No, I'm in a hurry, I'm into anxiety, I have a reaction. My reaction is, no, I want a solution of this. You see how these 5 steps are closely interconnected. So I have to reflect on this, the past harmful actions which I have performed and which continues haunting me. Oh, why didn't you meet me 20 years ago when women told me that I should not have divorced? That idea is still haunting you, and that is known as the sin. You see, you have to take the sin totally in a different way. Don't start thinking in a religious way, where the priest will come and then you have to confess this. Even after confessing the sin, once you get out of the religious places, you keep on thinking. You continue to have those sins. So we don't say that. Don't go into that. Any unfavorable condition, situation, event that is happening in your life has to do with the sin. Understand this. Understanding that. So you understand the nature of this sin. I did this and my mind is constantly crazy. I'm still thinking about my son or daughter or honey or anyone outside. Avoid that. Because it happens due to my action. It happens due to my thought, speech, and action. The way I think about you or against you, the way I speak in favor of you or against you. Can you make it very interesting even if you don't like a person? Don't like a person. It has to do with an attachment. The fourth step, desire prompted. Oh, but I have already dropped my false I. So I should have dropped attachment and detachment. Second step. How? So I did not study myself. That is the first step. Look at this. He did it only the 5 statements. Study yourself daily. Perform your duty, what is right, good, and proper, with the right attitude inside your head. Before the false I takes over, drop it. Everything is done by, don't own the responsibility. For desire prompted activities which accrue the sins, unfavorable conditions. You see that desire prompted act. I want you to do this. You don't do this. And I get frustrated. So I'm attached. I'm telling you the simple thing. Why don't you take it easily? So you drop the desire prompted activities and then fourth one, fifth one. The fifth step is where you do uproot the multitude of the sins. Uproot the multitude. I can tell you, you prepare a list last week or last month, how many times you were frustrated interacting with the people, entering into a different situation. You have already accumulated the sins. By understanding, drop it. All the sins are gone, you're out. But it takes a courage to do that because the ego will come back. Attachment will return. Why? So the master says desire prompted activities. He has given you a solution. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. People, place. Awareness of the place. In any profession you are, all these 5 steps are universal steps. Position, posture, being comfortable. First step, you have to have a higher self-awareness. Oh, I'm already, yes, comfortable, carefree. Very good. So all the steps are done in few seconds. Yes. It depends on your self-awareness. Then you're looking at the breath. You're checking the flow of the breath, but with reference to the flow of the breath, the first neighbor, the world outside, too far from me. really the world is too far from me? Obviously. Even the honey is too far from me because it is separate from the body. Why to worry? I'm just reminding you. Second, neighbor, do you remember? The physical body. Physical body may have a pain problem. Yes, I will address the problem. But I'm not attached to the body. So I'm not accumulating this sin. You have to think in this way. Third, energy, hunger and thirst pertaining to prana, breath, manifestation. Fourth neighbor is the mind. Do I experience the pain, pleasure, yesterday, today, now? Fifth neighbor, also including the likes and dislikes. And the sixth neighbor, a lot of idea of a pleasure is present there in the sixth neighbor, closest neighbor. That is why we say ignorance is bliss. We have a famous American proverb. Ignorance is bliss. Yes, happiness in the sensuality, happiness in the pasta, happiness in the long list. That is ignorance. And beyond that, there is a real self. We are this self. Oh, so why to miss that moment? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. You don't miss that moment. You see that? Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Peace for all. Expression appears for all, but it is indicating a sense of that peace is real self. I believe you are getting it. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be completeness for all. Completeness, wholeness, yes. Then where the desire prompted action will go, it will not arise in the mind. So we are moving into the positive affirmation from the desire prompted action, accumulating the sin to here. You have to contemplate and reflect. And Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Am I into that state of auspiciousness? Even you are just aware. Oh, yes, I'm into that state. Don't follow the mind. Oh, where is the auspiciousness? I'm not in the peace. Mind will continue to haunt you because of the past impressions. Impulsive nature. It takes time. By regular. Now you're looking deep inside the forehead in the space. You are dropping Om Shanti 1. And then start breathing long, deep into the chest. What does it mean? It is not a quick and a fast breathing. It is not the fire of breath or breath of fire, whatever you say. You inhale and you expand the entire chest so that all the ribs create a maximum distance, and then you exhale all the ribs, they join together, but with a speed. Let us do it for Today, the 3 minutes, 3 rounds, I'm just alarming your mind. If the mind is attached, it will say, oh, this is too much. No, it is not too much. Let us do it and see what happens. We want to move from tamoguna to rajoguna to satoguna. Tamoguna, resistance. You bypass the resistance again by knowledge in the intellect. You say to yourself that let me have the endurance and I will continue to do it. So we are adding many conventional methods of purification. One is the japa. You are doing the Om Shanti. The second one is the pranayama that we are doing. Third is that we maintain the awareness. We don't allow the mind to follow the desire prompted activities because of attachment. Mind says, no, I'm attached, I will have a problem. So you tackle it by the intellect and you are withdrawing your scattered mind inside. So all the aspects are included together. You may be falling into sleepiness. No. And you use the intellect. No. I will continue to follow. We are doing it for 3 minutes today. If your mind is looking when the 3 minutes will complete, obviously it is already agitated. And if you don't have a thought, or replace that thought with, oh, I will do it. Continue to do it. Now stop breathing and continue with Om Shanti, mantra, and flow of awareness on the flow of the breath. Awareness of the flow of the breath means that we are releasing that desire prompted activities. Otherwise, the mind will think of something of which I am not aware. In the second round, it will take over you. It will start dictating you. And now start with the second round into the chest. Long, deep in the hissing breath. Om Shanti continues. Stillness in the body continues. So you see that the sensation, comfort, and steadiness is in the body. The long and the hissing breath. Not quick and fast. Not the quick and the fast. And you are aware of expansion of the ribs and the contraction of the ribs. And then you tackle the impure mind, if I say. Tackle the impure mind. The mind says, no, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. You tackle by the intellect, which contains the endurance. What is I have to remember so many things. Yes, you rise in awareness by regular practice, and rise in awareness will work in your daily life. Okay. And rise in awareness working in my personal, professional, social, and family life, what will happen? I'll get out of those anxieties which comes due to this sense. Think. That is what the reflection is. Continue. 3 minutes, 3 rounds. We are going to do it anyhow. As your mind has stopped breathing in, it is waiting for something. You are missing something. Sometimes does the mind stops breathing and says, "Oh, I missed it," or it goes into sleep for a while. Your mind dictates. Sometimes it can dictate you. How it dictates you, you will forget the breathing and the mantra. So does that happen? Yes. You know you are attending this session, but you will forget it. You will not do it. Yes, see that? I've already seen 2 people. Now stop it. Do nothing. Continue with Om Shanti. Body is in the state of the stillness and flow of the breath and the flow of the breath. And experience. So you are experiencing the changes, maybe vision, colors, sinking feeling, or heaviness, or lightness. Lot of experiences appears as we continue to do it, because now the intellect is supporting it. And now we have a third round. Om Shanti continues, stillness continues. Start breathing long and the hissing into the rib cage. Check that your mind will stop it, and it gives you a feeling of delusion that as if you are still doing it. And then you will remember, and then you will do it. So this step, which is active step, takes you to a variety of experiences of heaviness or lightness or a lot of stuff. You just follow it. Continue. Continue. Yeah, mind has a thought, oh, I cannot do it for so long. But I can remain in anxiety for long. I will continue to react for a long. You see how our masters deals with these thoughts and the feeling. And start breathing. Awareness on the flow of the breath. Om Shanti continues with awareness of the changes in your experiences. Or you can directly move. You start dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of your fingers to check if the withdrawal of the sense organs are complete. You will start having a lot of sensation inside or on the 16 segments of fingers, as if you are physically touching physically, seeing physically, saying, and the same experiences also take place inside your head. Somewhere in the head, which gives you an understanding as if all the faculty of the senses are inside, and they are fact inside. Physical eye is outside. Faculty of the sense organ is connected to the mind. Why you say faculty? Because it contains consciousness. Physical eye does not. And now leave this Buddha mind inside the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle of any color pointing upward, moving the mind on the side of a triangle, dropping Om Shanti clockwise and anti-clockwise. The moment you find there is a sync, mentally, loudly you say Om. Here you are pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. Mind seemingly stops, and there you drop Shanti. Seemingly stops means you are transcending the mind. You see consciously. And now you need not to do anything at all. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. On the left hand, lift your both of arms, place it on your thigh. On your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. When I think about the accumulation of sins, it's like a kind of a pick your path situation with either you perpetuate these impressions all the time, or you just like rest in awareness. And it's a little like Saturday in that it's kind of this simple thing that is not really simple. I mean, my mind does not want to let go of the driver's seat. So I had, I wrestled with that a little bit during my meditation today, but I think it was a useful processing of the lesson. Thank you.
Very good. Yes, that's a good point you have touched upon. Otherwise, we keep on thinking, oh, why didn't you meet me 20 years before? I should not have divorced. Oh, so the impression is still there. That is what the sin is. I cannot forget you insulted me. And what about I appreciated you? That I don't count. Because I'm worthy of appreciation. Do you see that? That is where the sins are accumulated. So I have to process consciously when these thought comes, and these thoughts takes over our mind for days, for weeks together. Have you noticed that disturbs your sleep someday? You wake up in the morning and you're still remembering. So we have to process, we have to understand. Yes, you're right, it's not an easy way. But now we are a seeker, so it's an easy way. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very good, thank you. For the lesson, I'm just relishing the simplicity of the structure you've provided us. So it kind of makes it fun in a way. And so for me, meditation was deep, calm, and easy. Thank you.
Very good. Yes, the structure that I explained in my own way. You're outside and meet someone, and the mind has already reacted. You remember the principles. Oh, it will accumulate the sin. You change your entire perspective. You move into a higher self-awareness. Even though you have done it, you have reacted, but now you have taken those steps back. Is it possible? Yes, it is 100% possible. It will not happen in a day. It takes time. Because if I don't recognize, it will not happen. So yes, in that respect, these 5 steps are very simple. And if we can apply in our daily life, it will happen. It will definitely happen. Very good. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. The lesson was really deep and calm, relaxed. I feel like the mind is very keen on having that emptiness, so that each day it can see what the day brings with no expectations. of anything happening that happened yesterday or that I may want. There's no desire for something to happen. Just let it be what it is.
Yeah, let it what it is, and then let me see what is right, proper action needs to be do. Let me do it. Finished. Let me do my action. Let me do my. So what is that action? Thought, speech, and physical action. Thought. So in relationship with the people, so what is going to happen? I'm dropping those desire-prompted activities which will accumulate the sense, fourth and the fifth step. But the third step is quite challenging. That is what you have. Emptiness. Emptiness means that I drop that false I. But still I remember what activities I need to do. I'll tell you later. How are you, Stephen? Yes. Thank you.
Good, sir. Thank you. I'm understanding that all of this is a process, and the tools, the operating manual, it is just a clear understanding that you've got to take this in a very slow, methodical manner, that you can't skip a step, you can't jump a step ahead, you can't worry about what took place yesterday or what you didn't or didn't do, but always face everything straight on as it is in that moment and emphasize the self-awareness and the teachings of the Eastern wisdom in order to continue along the path. And if you forget something, it's okay. You go back and you fix it the next time, you do it better. And this whole understanding has allowed me to slow everything down and just take it one moment at a time, one step at a time. And it led to my meditation today it was timeless. And the only thing that defined that or ended the timeless was when you started chanting, and that gave me the indication that this was over, even though I wanted to stay in the state that I was in. So again, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. You referred to a wonderful point. I will explain by an example. Say, for example, I reacted yesterday on something, and then today in the morning my mind reminds me, drop it. I have to work on how to drop it. I have not to continue thinking about it. But then there are two elements. If I really reacted because I did not understand, let me say sorry. Where is the problem? So in both the ways, I have to drop it. One, that dropping contains two elements of awareness. If I drop it, so at the physical, the professional, social level, let me say sorry about it. And second is that I don't allow that impression to carry forward. Fifth one, the fifth step. So yes, you are right. It seems a very slow process. I will use that phrase. It seems slow, but I'm slowly giving the interpretation. I'm slowly putting up the right knowledge. Another way that let me rehearse mentally how I have to say sorry, because you are rehearsing a couple of times. It is going to add the positive state of the mind. Mind is impulsive. Mind will if you have reacted against someone, the mind will continue to react for years and days and weeks. It has learned that process. I have to get rid of that process. I believe you're getting it. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you for the lesson. I'm fine. Based on today's lesson, I just wrote down my definition of a sin. So it is a thought related to my past action that disturbs the peace, calmness, and clarity of my mind.
Yeah.
So that kind of removes the mystical cover of this term and all the things that are usually tied to this term. And as far as my meditation, it was very deep, peaceful, and comfortable.
Beautiful. I want to add two things. One thing is very clear. We are sure, we have understood through the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom that real self is sinless. It does not have any sin. Clear? So when I say that I am a sinner, means what? It is the false I with the mind, with the thoughts, past impression, past events. This is what the sin is. And that is what the Dionys has explained in his own way. So think of this. Don't go ahead the mystical way. And if you continue with the mystical way, you will die mystical way. And you will continue to accumulate the sin unnecessarily. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I noticed during the meditation today, each of the 3 breathing practices, I would begin very determined that I was not going to get lost. And every single time I got lost in the breathing practice, I couldn't remember if I was focusing on breathing or the in-between times. So it just represents that wandering mind.
Yes. Yeah. Perhaps that is why I just spoke about it. You heard that? Yeah. Even after hearing, it happened. That is what the problem is. But it's okay. When you do the practice regularly, it will change. It will change. How are you, Samir?
I think whatever we teach our mind, it keeps on repeating that. When I used to teach my mind anxiety, it used to repeat anxiety. Now I am teaching my mind peace. Now it is repeating peace in me day by day. Since it is repeating, it suggests me to live in peace, to remain in peace. And the reaction of the other people now little bit surprises me. Little bit.
Yes, it is worth noting. It is worth noting. What I educate the mind, it will continue to learn. But one thing, because we were not born with an operating manual, it was unconscious, impulsive, habitual mind. So the stress, anxiety, duality, and a reaction enters from the back door. And that is why we have to teach this peace continuously, not the anxiety, not the reaction. So I'm connecting it to the Dennis and all of you, that when any event yesterday, it is repeating in my mind, that is going to create a sin. I have not to get rid of. I have to contemplate and reflect and become free from it. We don't do that. And it takes time. It's a slow process. How are you, Terry?
My meditation was peaceful, but I think I missed the first round. I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and it was the second round. And I said, "Oh, what happened to the first round?"
What a great
but
sleep!
Other than that, I had a few thoughts, and the rest of it was.
This is going to happen.
Open and expansive.
Very good. Your admission is great. It is going to happen. The mind, with a fraction of a second, falls into unconscious and we pose, we claim we are listening, and still we are not listening. This is what happens to the Christina. She said that every time I lost. And you see that you were sleeping when I was giving the instruction. What to talk about those small thoughts of reaction, of past impression, moves into the mind and it makes me unaware of it. So slowly I watch, I become aware, I understand, and I get rid of it. I have the 5 steps with me. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, mind was calm, practice was absorbed, and like with the help of these principles, it helped me to understand the state of my mind and what impulsive reaction it is coming out. And also, like there's a belief in me that I can withdraw from that impulsive reactions and do the right thing instead of doing the impulsive thing.
Perfectly right. You know, when you have not studied Eastern wisdom, then what is your statement? No, I have to react against you. You did the wrong thing. But after study of the Eastern wisdom, I recognize, come on, mind, you can do the things without reaction also. Do you see the tremendous difference? And then you apply these 5 steps and you get rid of the sin. Otherwise, what is going to, next time the guy comes, you react again. Next time the guy comes, or you continue to react. Reaction will accumulate those impressions. Those impressions will be used against the third person. And that is why we say it is a sin. Do you understand? A very subtle point. How are you, Ashok?
Sir, namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, I am good, peace and calmful, and nothing to ask. Thank you so much.
You have to understand that point. I reacted against you. The mind has accumulated those impressions, and it can be used maybe 10 years later. That box is still there. And that is what the master says, get rid of these sins. That is the sin. Do you kill someone without having a motivation? And the motivation comes from your past impression of reactions, anger, and anxiety? Look at it. So we see that if someone kills without any reason, he is a sinner. But the sinner is basically the mind. That is all. Thank you very much. We'll meet again.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.